Hello, this is Spirit House again. Sorry about that. My iPhone storage became full before we could get through this lecture. So I'm going to do the second half right now. And we are on The Message of the Divine Iliad by Walter Russell. We are on lecture number 8, Knowing versus Sensing. And this is the second half of the lecture that I'll be starting off at. Um, all right. Thinking and reasoning from observed effects of motion registered on the brain have given marvelous results in physical products, but unless there is knowledge of cause back of the results of the back of the results, the products which man speaks of as his creations are but sense observed effects assembled into form. They are not mind creations born from spiritual knowing. When a cosmically inspired composer conceives a symphony, he is creating a product born of knowledge which he is thinking into form. His product is cosmic, for it comes from the soul. But when a composer puts together many units of other musicians' creations, which he has become informed of through his senses, he is but assembling information into form. His product is physical because it comes from the body. It lacks the depth of a cosmic creation. The genius in it is not his own. Another great illusion is that knowledge is written down in books and that we acquire knowledge from books. Knowledge cannot be written in books, nor can it be taught by teachers. Even the teachings of the world, great mystics, philosophers, and geniuses are but information, electrically sensed by those who read or hear them until consciousness of the spirit recognizes them as knowledge. The teacher cannot give knowledge except by re-inspiring others with his inspiration. In order to do that, he must himself be inspired. Inspiration is the language of light. It is the means of intercommunication between God and man. Written or spoken words or musical rhythms have no meaning for anyone unless the inspiration of knowledge in them is conveyed to him who reads or hears them. Words or music are but information or sound electrically recorded upon the senses of man unless and until they become transformed into conscious knowing by reaching the spirit. Man can repeat them just as a phonograph record can repeat things, but there is no soul in music, no inspiration in words unless there is knowledge in the performer or speaker which inspires him to re-inspire his hearers. The man who lives a sensed existence prefers a crowd. He never wishes to be alone. He never wishes to be silent or quiet. If he is in a room alone, he turns on the radio to make sound. If he is not satisfied with what he hears, he will turn the dial to something else. Always something else, changing the dial, changing the sound to make other kinds of sound. He will pick up a newspaper and read it while the sound is going on, not knowing the meaning of the sound, not even caring as long as his senses are being activated by it. He will read a story and not know what the story is telling him. If you ask him an hour later what he has read, he does not remember. He does not desire to remember. He cannot even tell you the plot of the story or the substance of the plot. He has forgotten it as he read it. The sound of the radio, the story, the plot, the advertisement, all are a jumble in his senses. They are all mixed together as he reads and listens simultaneously. In this manner, he spends his whole life entertaining his senses. If he goes out into nature, he seeks a crowded beach, a boardwalk or dance hall where the music is jazz. He sells a lot of goods, makes a lot of money, dresses well, and stands as a man in the community who is successful. You like him, and I like him. He is cheerful, he is a good fellow, he is well informed, but he knows practically nothing. His viewpoint is a materialistic one. He wants to be shown. His desire to make money and spend it exceeds all other desires. He is the dominant character in our industry and commerce. His name is Legion. On the other hand, the man who consciously lives in a spiritual universe of knowing is as different as the obverse side of a metal from the reverse. Money is his last consideration. From such men comes world culture, people who love to be alone and find ecstasy in it. It is from those who knowingly commune with God and nature that the stupendous rhythms of our fine arts, our music, architecture, painting, sculpture, poetry, and literature come. Without increasing world culture, our civilization would retrogress. What would our world be without the enriching influence of the great masters who have given us our priceless works of art? Think what it would mean to take great masters of music out of our lives, such as Wagner or Rachmaninoff. When we contemplate such a catastrophe to our mental enrichment, we can better realize the inestimable value which just one such genius living knowingly with God is as compared to one who lives with a mere sensed existence. Yet it is through these geniuses who live in the world of knowing that those who live in the world of sensing ascend to the heights. That transition from the material world of sensing to the spiritual world of knowing is continually taking place among men. The more one listens to the rhythms of heaven, the more one becomes attuned to them. The lover, the lover of jazz, to whom a symphony would be painful, gradually reverses his desire as he reattunes himself to spiritual rhythms. Likewise, his sense of beauty undergoes the same transition, and with it a love of nature. All men are seeking to become higher beings. It is innate in all men. The great desire for that higher understanding which can alone come from God is permeating all the peoples of the earth at this period of chaos in world affairs. This is the new dawning day of the greatest spiritual awakening in all man's history. New comprehension will give him a new sense of values, a new understanding of his place among men, of his relationship to the universe, and of other men's relationship to him. Man must comprehend and obey the universal law of love, and thus manifest his inheritance of omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. And that is the end of lecture number 8. Thank you.